Hi, my name's Mike Cryans. I'm the Executive Councilor for District Number 1. And for some people that say, what's the Executive Council? They also know it as the Governor's Council. It sits with the Governor. There are 5 councilors. Each serves a district. District Number 1 that I serve in is 2/3 of the state, which is all the upper portion from this area roughly down to Laconia all the way to Pittsburgh and over to Claremont and over to the Maine border. So it's a big district. It has 109 towns, 4 cities, all are parts of 7 counties. So it encompasses the upper 2/3 of the state. And a lot of people say, well, what does the council do? The council approves, after the governor has nominated, all of the district court, superior court, and Supreme Court, all of the major offices that run the state government, like DOT and Agriculture and Department of Environmental Services. All of those departments are managed by a commissioner and deputy commissioner. They come before the council. In addition, all of the contracts the state puts out. Now, we recently approved the largest contract we will approve throughout my term, which will be the Medicaid, which was just shy of $1 billion, to small grants that go out as little as $25,000. So it's quite a wide swath, from almost $1 billion down to $25,000. And in addition to that, all of the commissions and boards that make up volunteer portion of state government. In fact, I would encourage anyone that would love to serve on a commission or a board to contact me. They can send me their resume at michael.cryans@nh.gov. Also, while I'm at it, if they would like to get my calendar or the agenda, and somebody said, well, what could the agenda be? The agenda for this meeting coming up on June 5th, which is soon, there are 175 items. So that will spell out what the council will be doing that week. And during all of these processes, each one of the items has to get 3 votes to be approved. And the former councilor, Ray Burton, always famously would say, I always teach a new governor to count to 3, because if you can't count to 3 and get 3 votes at the council, nothing happens. So you have all of that. But the other part that gets lost sometimes, and I think it's, again, was framed by what Ray did over the years, is constituent service. I make sure that I get out each and every day. I don't work as far as an employed job other than this position. So each week I send out a calendar which shows what I do throughout the week, and I try to get around as many towns as possible. Early on, I set a goal to go to all of the 109 towns and 4 cities and do that by June 1st. And just 2 weeks ago, I met that goal, got them all done, and gave me an opportunity not only to go to the towns, to drop off a map that shows all of the towns that make up the district and my cards, and talk with the clerk or the select board or whomever at the time, but it also gave me a time to get a little more familiar with the town itself. So throughout all of that, I did find that there's a lot of common problems. One of the biggest problems we deal with, obviously, especially after a tough winter, was the state of the roads. So recently, and in addition to that is some of the water issues. So recently I had the Commissioner of DOT, Victoria Sheehan, and the Commissioner of DES, which is Department of Environmental Services, Bob Scott, go with me, and we spent a day touring Coos County. So we traveled throughout, and it gives them a good feel of what the roads are really like. We all have, I guess each town, each person has a road story, how difficult it has been to traverse through some of the ups and downs of the frost heaves. So having said all that, my goal going forward is to continue to be out there. I want to do the best I can, because I realized that there was there's sort of a feeling throughout District Number 1 that the further north you get, the more you feel forgotten. So as you move away from Concord and you get up, and even though I'm in Plymouth today, there's a long ways to go to the Canadian border, and along the way people just feel that Concord has forgotten them, and what Concord can do. So what I've tried to do is bring Concord, instead of having people go to Concord, is try to bring Concord to the people and do tours like I just did with the two commissioners from DOT and DES. And finally, I guess I would say that when you're looking to get the calendar or the agenda, please send a request to Megan, MEAGAN, .rose, R-O-S-E, at nh.gov, and she will put you on a mailing list so you will get that information. And sometimes you go to a community, and I'll give you an example. I went to a community one day and there were 15 people waiting to see me in a very small community because they had an issue that really had sort of hit the nerve in their community and they wanted to bring it to my attention. So if you see something and you feel like I'll be the only person to stop and see Mike that day, come on over. I appreciate it. I want to be able to say I've been able to help you. I do go with the sort of the point of view that everyone deserves an answer. The unfortunate thing is sometimes you might not get the answer you want, but you do deserve an answer. So I will be working hard to make sure that if you've got any kind of issue, at least you get some kind of resolution, whether you like the answer or not, that you do get that resolution. And finally, if you wish to reach me by phone, I think it's sometimes people say, well, I'd rather talk to you about an issue. In fact, last night I got a phone call. I get several phone calls, but I get a phone call at the end of the day, and the guy said, I'd just rather talk to you than try to sit down and try to type out the whole thing. So my phone number is 443-1901. And I do appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today. In addition to being here, I'm going to be at the White Mountain Museum. I've already been to the Spear Memorial Hospital, and I'm going over to Squam Lake for a couple of meetings at the center over there. And that's what I've tried to do, is make sure that when I'm in a community, I make the best use of my time and your time by coming over here and going to a number of things. So thank you for this opportunity.